10 a.m. precisely in UK and in Portugal, and 11 o'clock Central European time and in Sweden. So it's about to start in our topic for today, 9 ways of destroying a relationship while in lockdown. We, as always, we are here with Sophie from Sweden and Peter from UK, but actually he's an Australian. But you have the British flag over there.
Oh, no.
I know it because I only saw a square.
Ah, it's clever. See, it's two things.
Oh, yeah. Good. So let's start from Sweden. So what is your first advice how to destroy a relationship while in lockdown?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say a few things, like put it in context. So Sweden obviously have a different approach to how to fight COVID-19, the coronavirus. And I'm a bit surprised that we are doing the opposite that everyone else. And our, like the advisor, the head of the public health department, he's like our guru at the moment. Everybody else listens to him and what he and his colleagues say and what they tell us to do. And all this a bit it's a bit strange to be in this context. But anyway, from my personal view, me and my partner has been in our own lockdown for about, its own 10 weeks. He was at a conference in the beginning of March, and the day after he avoided to go and meet any colleagues because he felt I met so many people yesterday. So he has been working from home, and he normally works from home as well, a few days per week. So it's not that new, but now when we are together 24/7 and we have a baby who's 8 months old now, it gets a bit sort of stressful to be here. And one thing that I've discovered and also discussed with others is that you have to sort of keep the same level of hygiene. You have to keep the same level of how to meet people. You have to keep the same level of the process when you go to the shop and when you do things. And you need to do that, both of you, because if one is like touching everything when you're there in the shop, or they don't have any alcohol gel or anything with them, it's like meaningless that one person do it and not the other. So if you want to keep the person who's more anxious during lockdown or during COVID-19, do different things. One is allowing 3 friends to go in their car, and others don't allow anyone to be close to them. So keep the same level, and you won't destroy the relationship. And if you don't keep to the same level of hygiene and processes, you might have a little bit of a problem.
Okay. So Peter, by the way, it is interesting to give some context from each country. So Peter, can you give your first advice how to destroy, and also the context of how is in UK at this precise moment?
I'm just going to give you the fundamentals of how to destroy a relationship, and it doesn't really matter where the context is. Obviously, it's a fantastic chance to amplify it when you're confined to the same environment almost 24 hours a day. So my first tip in how to destroy a relationship is to have absolute utter contempt for the other person. In a nutshell, you have to see them as unworthy of love and respect. You need to criticize them wherever possible and stay silent when you can't find anything to criticize, which won't be very often, but that's the main thing. To be constantly irritated by anything they do, anything they say. And if you are able to attack openly and have a go at them, great. But if you're not feeling quite in the mood for that, just use passive-aggressive stuff. Use sarcasm. A bit of sarcasm goes a long way. Sigh, roll your eyes, that kind of thing. So you just make sure they really know you have no respect for them at all. And whether it's in normal life or the current situation, it's bound to really help destroy the relationship. But it really gets amplified when you have to live with each other all the time.
Thank you. To give a little bit of context, we in Portugal, we have a kind of semi-lockdown. So we've never been like in Spain, that they were like closed completely closed for 3 or 4 weeks. And that creates what I call the submarine effect. You know, there is these submarine crews that are in the same confined space, but they are not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people. They are like 200 people inside the same space. The submarine syndrome is really, really complicated, because you have to get used to have the same, let's say, landscape, the same people, and it's very easy to destroy a relationship. And I think that there will be 2 major effects from this lockdown. One, there might be an increase of the birth rate in 9 months. But on the other side, I think that one of the main sectors that will have a boom in activity will be the divorce lawyers. So they will have and because at some point, and this is my first one, is I agree that at some point you need to understand that it's time to shut up. But if you shut up too much, you will be really heading to destroy a relationship. So that silence that prolongs for 1 day, 2 days, it will create problems, and that's why these kind of things that the World Health Organization, WHO, is also giving some advice that and being worried about domestic violence, because silence also is a way of violence. You know, if you are with somebody that is silent the whole time, this is very violent here. So, Sophie, your second one.
Yeah, well, I think that this is going to change the way we work in so many ways. I have lots of people I know who say that they will never go into the office as much as they've done before. They can work perfectly fine from their balcony, from their home. They can do 85% of everything they can do at work at home. There might be like some special equipment that you need to go into work. Of course, it depends on what kind of job you have. But anyway, this is like some people I've spoken to recently. And I think it's important when you are in a relationship and you go to work, you could easily sort of lose the boundaries about when you are at work and when you are at home, and when you can be interrupted, and when you have thinking time, when you do things for your work. And it's easy to disturb the other person when they're in the middle of something. And I have personally experienced that. So if you're going to work from home for a long time, I think you need to set up boundaries about how you're going to do it. And the way that we have done it here is that I have to ask my partner, Magnus, several times about what he's going to do today. If it's something important, is it like new people he is having like a team meeting with or not online? And I heard from another person that it's quite common that men don't think they should share that. And I'm like, I need to know that. So we have had like a few conflicts about what's going on. And I think I need to know like if it's something really important or if it's something that's semi-important. Because if it's really important, I might go out for a walk with our daughter, so I don't disturb. Sometimes she is like quite loud, and I'm like la 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 la. And it's in our house we have 2 floors. He cannot really hide that much because you can hear what's going on downstairs. It's sort of impossible to hide. Anyway, so we have started a new habit that he says quite clearly, now I'm at work and I have a meeting until then, and then I'll come down for a little bit, and then I need to go outside and do that. See, we are like communicating more about when he is at work and when he's not at work. and it's much better. And I can imagine, like, in his job, they are digital all the time. They are using Teams, Zoom, all digital technologies, and they've done that before. And that they are like 20 people in 10 different places around Sweden. So of course they use these techniques, and they're just going to do it more. They did it before, and they're going to continue and do it even more. And anyway, so if you are at home with your partner and you want to destroy your work relationship, maybe, and your personal relationship, be unclear with your boundaries.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
So my second one is to store up grievances, to remember all of the things that they did recently or long ago that you're really annoyed about. There's an old expression talking about burying the hatchet. I don't know whether it came from the American Indians. So there's this sense of, call the peace and bury the hatchet so we're no longer at war. But I think a lot of people might bury the hatchet, but they never, ever forget where they buried it. It's still there and they can go and get it. So store up your grievances, maintain resentment, and blame the other person for your unhappiness. If you're feeling frustrated because you can't see friends or you can't do your work the way you normally do it, you don't have the freedom you used to have, look at the person you're living with and blame them somehow. Make it their fault. And whatever they do that annoys you, just see them unworthy of forgiveness. That's a good one.
Okay, thank you. Mine connects with the one that Sophie was talking. If you are not disciplined on your time, unless there is a problem in terms that I imagine that I work with, my team is in India. So I will have to work in different schedule, but like 99% of people can be disciplined in terms of the time. So try to have, to live it like how it is in a, not a disciplined way. So having lunch at one at a time, another at a time, that creates a kind of frustration because you don't meet each other at certain points. And also, if you are working from home, organizing your agenda is very important in order, and also what Sophie was saying, to say to the other, look, I will have, like, for instance, this kind of Facebook Live and nobody's around, okay? Actually, I'm alone here, so it's okay. But when I'm not, nobody's around here. Might be on the other side, but in silence, but because they know that they cannot do anything. So being not disciplined is a very good way to create conflict. And last one from Sophie.
Yeah. Well, it's really close to what Peter was talking about, to dwell about things. But my take on it is to dwell on things just before you're gonna fall asleep. If you really want to spice up your relationship and make it really bad, start talking about everything that's crap just before bed. It's a great way to sleep. You just destroy your sleep. Anyway, I think when you're together this much as you are right now, and we might be for an unforeseeable future, we don't know if you're going to be in lockdown again, and we don't have anywhere. It's like hard to find space to talk about these things. At least for me, like I don't talk to that many people, and not that many people calls me, so I don't have that many to talk to during the day. But like I have to, if it's something that really annoys me, I have to keep it for myself and just let it go, and don't be quite good, sort of choose the right time to discuss these things. Of course, you should not shut up for too long because it's not good either. But anyway, like dwell on things just before you're gonna fall asleep. It's amazing, you won't wake up feeling rested or anything.
Okay, Peter, your last one.
Yeah, just to build on what Sophie said, there's an old saying, never let the sun set on an argument. It's good advice from many years ago with couples. My final one is to have a lack of gratitude for everything good in your life, including the people. So, you know, it's a very interesting time in human history, and I always like to look at alternative narratives about what's going on. So I'm always interested in the idea that, you know, this is the coronavirus is a little bit of a scam. It's kind of leading us towards a dystopian society where, you know, we won't be able to do anything or go anywhere without a microchip in our neck and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of interested in that. But if you dwell on that too much, you can make yourself really unhappy and miserable. And there are also many things that are positive that's come out of this, you know, that people are starting to look at themselves and look at their life differently, start to see what's important in life and value things in a different way. And it stops us running around like crazy people in the car, flying everywhere, busy, and never stopping to breathe. And, you know, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but I, you know, go for walks a lot more in my local area. I see things I never saw before. I hear the birds singing. It's a very different environment. So, you know, we can focus on the negatives, and there are negatives definitely, and there are positives. And for me, I've chosen to turn it into a positive, and I'm developing some stuff that I've always wanted to develop, and I've just never had time. I'm actually able to be based at home, you know, full time and work on that. So I think if you want to be hard to live with, make sure you don't show gratitude for anything, and don't see anything positive about the situation you're in right now.
Okay. So my last one actually is very Scandinavian, more precisely Danish, is that when you don't invest in creating and what the Danish say, hygge or something like that, environment, a coziness, because now people are discovering that in many places, they created only places to sleep and not to be. So this is a time also that you can invest your time in creating that coziness and creating a place that when you will be having your, let's say, normal life, you return and it is home and not a place to sleep. So when you have like only a place to sleep, and sometimes we have too much things inside the houses, so things that are not useful, things that, and sometimes there are this organization, the things that are useful are far or not very easy to get to, and things that are unuseful are the ones that you see every single day, and they are very fast that you can pick them up. So not create this coziness creates more stress. So because we should see the house, even if it's a house and an office, like in my case, I have been working in nowadays. Everybody's like, oh, I'm doing remote work, home office and things. I've been doing like that since '94. So I'm an old guy on this. And one of the things is that you have to have really things where is the office part, even if it's a corner, it should be organized. And the rest of the house is very good. It is also organized, because if not, it's like you look around, it's like a kind of war area. So these were my three advices. As always, Peter and Sophie, thank you very much for your advices. And it is also, I wanted to note one thing, is that nowadays you see such an amount of webinars. Everybody's doing Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, YouTube Lives, and we have been doing this also for many years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a way, we were pioneers on this, and people were like, why the hell these three guys are meeting together at some point? And I always say the same, because it's very important that we gain skills using this kind of technologies, but also this is a fantastic way of the three of us sharing our knowledge, our experience with others, and with a very, very low cost in terms of our own energy, because we are meeting like we meet for a coffee and we talk about the subject. And then we go away and meet again 1 month after. And that's it. And we keep in touch. And this is a very good practice to keep in touch. And nowadays, this is the new normal. Who would guess that we would be in front of the new normal?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've found that people are connecting with people that they knew years ago. I had a friend I went to high school with in Australia, and we haven't spoken for 30 years, and he got in touch. It's really interesting. So we think of other people, and we make the effort to connect with people, because the technology means it doesn't matter where they are on the planet. It's easy to do it, and we're getting used to doing that. So that's a good thing.
So we are in the new normal.
Let's make it a positive thing.
Any note that you want to add, Sophie?
No, I don't think so. In the beginning of this Corona crisis, I followed the news all the time. I think I was connected to the news all the hours I was awake in the beginning. And now I'm not doing that. So I even, like, for 2 nights, I didn't watch the news on TV. So I'm coming out of my stressful, news addictive life in the beginning of the crisis. I think many people can connect to that and say I did the same. But anyway, it's weird when this is becoming the new normal. It's weird, but at the same time, there are, of course, it's going to be many things that are good with this in a weird way. Yeah.
But I think that's a good point about not watching the news, because it's very repetitive and it's depressing. So I don't watch it at all. I when the lockdown's over, I figure someone will tell me. I don't need to watch the news every day. I can just get on with my life and you
get out and say, what are the results? How many infected and that? And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, like I still listen to the radio, and when I drive the car, I listen to radio. You listen to news, but maybe I'm not doing it in that addictive way that I was doing for a while. And I think that can be, I don't know. It's often when it's like been a big crisis, I get into that behavior. So it's easier for me to do it. And anyway, I'm avoiding it right now.
Yeah, that's wise. It's better for your mental health, because you just get addicted to drama and doom and gloom, and it's not healthy. So we're better off focusing on positive stuff. Watching comedy movies, anything that makes you laugh is much better for you. Do that instead. Yeah.
But unfortunately, most people at the end are very connected, and even if you see what are the most saw movies in Netflix and things like this, is like things like pandemic. So
why would you do that? It's going on out there. You don't need to watch it.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
I watched it. I did that like in February. I watched it ages ago when it was just launched after it was released on Netflix. I watched it.
Yeah. So guys, that I think it was a kind of bonus, the 10th. If you watch too much news, you will also destroy your relationship, because you will get so depressed that it will be like nothing is worth investing in anything. So every advice that we gave here is useless, because the world is coming to an end. Done. So guys, once again, thank you very much, and see you next one that we will arrange in a moment. So
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.